These people, they truly don't understand this basic statistical reality. In the world they live in, they honestly believe, they really honestly believe that the majority of violence in the country, the vast majority of it, comes from white men. Don Lemon, we got to talk about, well, we don't have to talk about Don Lemon, but we're going to. Don Lemon, of course, was fired from CNN a couple of years ago, as you remember. He's since tried to reinvent himself as a podcaster, and it's always interesting to see these traditional cable news people and network news people when they try to pull off this transition. And most of them are not able to pull it off. It doesn't go well. Megyn Kelly is one of the few exceptions. She was obviously a huge star on Fox, and then she went for that stint on, what was it, NBC, and didn't go very well because of NBC and how they treated her. And but then she starts her own thing, becomes a podcaster, and she's bigger than ever. You know, now she's everywhere. She's a bigger star than she ever was. A huge success. One of the rare cases of that happening. Someone coming from that world going over to this world and succeeding. Don Lemon is having a different experience. He's been at this podcasting thing for over a year now, maybe 2 years. I don't know. It's not going well. And just to show you, here's what his channel looks like. So these are the most recent 7 or 8 videos from this week. He's averaging, I don't know, generously, let's call that 15 to 20,000 views per episode or per video. He also has an audio only version, just like we do. And I'm not sure what his exact, I went and I was curious. I went to the Spotify charts to check it out, see where he's ranked. And if you look at the news category for podcasts on Spotify, they list the top 50 in just that category. And he's unlisted. He didn't make the list at all. So he's not even in the top 50. He's not ranked. And so it's pretty pathetic. But, oh, and also drawing your attention back to the screenshot of his channel. Look what he calls his episodes. He either labels them a hot take, because that's what you do when you have a hot take. You label it a hot take in the title. Hey kids, here's my hot take. How do you do, fellow kids? Want to hear my hot take? And he either calls it that or he calls it a lemon drop. Which, come on, Don. Now I get it. It's a pun involving your name. It's sitting right there for the taking. Maybe someone suggested it to you and you just couldn't resist. Maybe somebody said, oh, you know what? When you do like a short video, you could call it a lemon drop. And maybe you just couldn't resist because but you can't do that. Okay. Like my name is Matt, but you don't see me labeling my episodes, I don't know, welcome Matt or something. You got to have some self-respect is all I'm trying to say. So all that's really beside the point though. That just establishes that Don Lemon is a pathetic failure. I wanted to establish that. Total failure of a man. But maybe that explains why he's now lashing out. So here he is in one of his recent barely viewed episodes, lashing out at white men. Listen.
Wake up, white men. What the is wrong with you? But you're too dumb to even realize that because you're lazy and sitting in front of a computer or a phone and you're just eating it up. Oh, my God, look at what they're doing. All of a sudden, my heritage is going to be over. That I want to live in a country where white kids go to white schools and white people marry each other. What is wrong with that? I want to grow up in the country that my great-grandfather grew up in. That country doesn't exist anymore. Men who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you. White men, something is broken. Something is cracked deep inside when so many of you believe the answer to fear, to loss, to change is violence. Are you listening to me? I hope I'm saying it loud enough for the people in the back.
Well, no, Don, we aren't listening. To answer your question, he said, "Are you listening? Are you listening? Is anyone listening?" You can hear his voice echoing through the empty halls. No, nobody's listening, Don. That's your problem. And your other problem, these problems are very much related, is that you are a rambling bigot. You are a dumb, rambling bigot. Your hatred for white people has driven you insane. It's made you delusional. You say that so many white men resort to violence. And of course, in reality, black men are an order of magnitude more violent than white men. So, and we've been through all the stats many times. It's not even close. There's no competition. Okay. This is not a, this is not a close competition at all. If this is like the Olympics of violence, black men win gold, silver, and bronze. Okay. in every event, they just do. And, this is such an obvious rebuttal that you wonder why he's even saying this. Like he's setting himself up for it, that you as a black man are telling white men that there's something spiritually wrong with them and that they're too violent. And meanwhile, black men are like 6% of the population and account for more than half of the murders in the country. So why are you doing this to yourself? Why would you bring this up? Well, you could see the answer if you read the responses to my post on X, where I gave exactly this obvious rebuttal. I responded to that clip and I was one of like a million people to make this point about how black men are much more violent statistically than white men are. And you look at the responses and it's one after another. And there's thousands of them from liberals, many of them black liberals, who truly don't believe that black men are more violent. They don't just disbelieve it. They treat the assertion like it's insane. Like as if I just claimed that, the sun is made of Skittles or something. They treat it, they laugh it off. They scoff at it. It's to them, it's absurd. It's an absurd thing to suggest. And they aren't pretending. I don't think they are. For these people, they truly don't understand this basic statistical reality. They live in a fantasy world. They live in the world they live in, they really honestly believe that the majority of violence in the country, the vast majority of it, comes from white men. That's what they think. That's the world they're living in. And it could not be further from the truth. But they're living in this fantasy world. And so Don Lemon is talking to people who are in this fantasy world. He's not talking to you or me. He's to people who live in reality. He's talking to people who are in this fantasy world. And that becomes really obvious when you look at the responses. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.